277 Fury versus 270 Winchester. Is there really that big of a difference? Let's find out on this episode of Ultimate Barrier Testing. Obviously, there's a giant difference between the size of these cases, but they are using the same bullets. So let's see if that size difference equates to any extra velocity. Well then, the 270 Winchester is going quite a bit faster than that 277 Fury. Let's see how this extra speed by the 270 Winchester translates on the targets though. Up first, we got a 6x6 nominal piece of pressure-treated lumber, and this thing isn't exactly the toughest target in the world. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is a pretty tough target for sure, but it's going to be followed by a 3/4 inch piece of plywood, and then directly after that piece of plywood is going to be this piece of 1/4 inch mild steel. So I think we should be good to go with that setup. The question is, usually I start with the smaller diameter projectile, but in this case, they're both 270 caliber, so which one do I start with? I'll start with the slower one, good idea. The shots are spaced out about 2 to 2.5 inches maybe. Let's check out the back though. Oh, that is about typical from what I've seen with the 277 Fury. This one though, that one went straight through, and that is a pretty tiny exit hole. Let's see what happened to the 3/4 inch piece of plywood. Still a tiny entrance hole. The other one started expanding out a little. Let's see what happened. Okay, this is gonna be tough to get out. Oh, no, not too bad. Okay, give me a second. Actually, you know what? Let me just leave it in there. We can see what happened on the back. So one of them did not make it the whole way through, and then that one punched the whole way through. That is not typical of what I've seen with the 277 Fury. That one is even more performance than I usually see as well. That is crazy. Let's see what that 270 does though. I did get 2 good shots to connect, so let's see what happened. Oh, those opened up quite a bit. That is about what I usually see with the 277 Fury. Let's see what happened on the other side. So the bottom, I'm not even gonna attempt to take this out. Let's just check out the back though and see for ourselves. Oh my gosh, I guess that extra speed hurt it quite a bit because there are just 2 bulges right here. Never did I think that the extra velocity of the 270 Winchester would have hurt it on this test, but it definitely did. Well, I guess we have a pretty obvious winner. Well, it's time to take out the trash because we got to get ready for the next target. We are ready to go other than the flip. Ooh, okay, there we go. There we go. We are ready for the next target. What we have here is play sand, an 8-inch cube of it to be exact, and just because there's play in the name does not mean it's playing around whenever it comes to stopping bullets. Because let me tell you something, it is super rough on bullets. Anyway, it'll be followed up by a 3/4 inch piece of plywood, so let's see if these bullets can do anything to this target. Okay, where did we... Oh, that is pretty centered on the box if I do say so myself. Now let's turn it around and see what we get. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing again. Okay, 270, bring it on. I'm hoping all that extra velocity helps the 270 out with this one, but we'll see. Where did that one land? Okay, a little bit to the left. Not quite as centered as the 277 Fury, but still in the general area. Now let's turn it around. Okay, I'm done singing. Let's see what happened. Nothing at all. I guess the extra velocity was not enough to punch it on through this box. I didn't know whenever I was filming this, but apparently increased velocity was never going to help get more penetration on the sand, especially with FMJ style bullets, as you could see here. Looks like we have a draw. But we need to get this Sandbox out of here for our next test. So let's get to it. And we don't even need to replace the 3/4 inch piece of plywood. How about that? But we do need to add these wings real quick. And here is our next target, 1.5 inches of concrete. Solid concrete, that is not reinforced. So let's go ahead and get that set up in there. And I believe we are good to go. Okay, so the 277 Fury absolutely pulverized that piece of concrete, but now let's check out the 3/4 inch piece of plywood, and I think I can already see what happened. Yep, it ripped off the back portion of the 3/4 inch piece of plywood, and it went straight through as well. That is super impressive performance. Now let's see if the 270 Winchester can do the same thing, or if the extra velocity is going to pulverize the bullet before it gets to the 3/4 inch piece of plywood. There we go. That might have even been a better reaction than the 277 Fury, and it looks like basically an almost identical hole. It didn't rip off quite the back sheet of the 3/4 inch plywood, but it still did about the same amount of damage. So I'd say this one is a draw as well. We're done with you for now, Unisled, so you need to get out of the way. I'll move you though. Oh, whoa. Okay, I might have moved you a little too hard, but you are out of the way now. Let's get Steel Sled 4.1 in the mix. Okay, we are ready for our next test. And now it's time for everybody's favorite target. Well, actually, I don't know if it's your favorite target or not. Mild steel is what we have up next. 3/8 of an inch to be exact. And the only reason we're not starting with a 1/4 inch of mild steel is because we already know that both of these cartridges would go straight through. So let's see what they do to 3/8 of an inch of mild steel. Alright, we are ready for action. Guys, if I had to guess, the 270 Winchester is probably going to do a little better than the 277 Fury, but literally anything is possible, so let's go ahead and see. Did we do it? Yes, we did. That is a nice clean hole, and that is a cool looking flower as well. Guys, I think, this is obviously a clean hole, but I think the 270 Winchester might have a better chance of making a cleaner hole on the 3/8 inch plate. We'll just have to see though. Obviously, if the 277 Fury went through, then the 270 Winchester went straight through mild steel. But guys, let me know. Can't tell for sure, but the 270 doesn't look quite as clean as the 277 Fury for some reason. The hole sizes look to be about the same though. I guess that makes sense. Let's get this garbage out of here because we are moving on up in the world. Straight on up to a 1/2 inch of mild steel. This is a thick piece of steel. Let's see what happens. Alrighty, we are good to go. No way, no way. I think I already saw it, and it did not go through the 1/2 inch piece of mild steel, but that is a pretty deep hole, and surprisingly, it's not very hot at all, even with my finger in there. Based on previous testing, I thought that that would be super hot in there. Holy shit, that one's pretty hot. But anyway, let's get back to the 270. Guys, I heard fragments raining down all above this shield right here. They were just coming right over, so don't try this at home. I honestly couldn't tell on that one, but I think it may have actually went through. Let us see what happened. I don't No, okay, it definitely did not go through, but that is a pretty decently deep hole. I honestly can't tell if it's deeper than the 277 Fury, so I think you know what that means. It's time to grind. Here's the thing, I didn't see it when I was out in the field, but apparently the 270 almost sheared out the back of that 1/2 inch mild steel plate. So I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that the 270 Winchester won this test, but I'll still measure it just in case you're curious. Okay, so the absolute deepest point I was able to find with the 277 Fury was 363 thousandths, which is pretty respectable. Not the best, but still. Anyway, the 270 Winchester, the deepest point I was able to find with it was 570 thousandths, so this test wasn't even close. Oh, come on, not again. Well, we have a tie ball game, and I don't have anything to break the tiebreakers, so which cartridge would you go with? If we're specifically talking about the brass case variants of each of these cartridges, then I would definitely go with the 270 Winchester, just because there are so many more options right now, and also because it's a little bit faster. But if I was able to safely fire the steel-based variant of the 277 Fury, I think we'd have a different story altogether.